Hey, we're back today. Look, he's here.
I'm real.
We're going to do some more Wheel of Time content for you today, but not what you're used to.
Hi, everybody. Welcome back to Fantasy for the Ages, the show where a father, that way, and son sit down and talk about some fantasy, sci-fi books, things like that. You know, I'm the son of that equation, Zach.
And I'm the father, Jim. Thanks for being with us today as we come back, get together, and talk about Wheel of Time content for you. Zach, it's nice to see you. How you doing?
I'm doing well. I've been, on that grind, taking care of Rolly. We were talking briefly before this about he's had some developments in his medical condition, but he's doing well, save for when he pees right next to me. So
Yeah.
if I do develop a sense of smell anytime in the next hour, you'll know because I'll probably be smelling it. How are you doing, Dad?
I'm doing just fine. It's been a busy week at work. It went by very quick. I didn't get home from a work trip until about 8 o'clock last night. But it's weekend now. I leave on another work trip on Monday. But the weekend, ready for some fun time with you here and some fun time with your mom. Tomorrow we're going wine tasting. We got a trip. We might do some later today too. You never know.
Wine tasting's good.
This won't matter for the people when they watch the recording, but I'll say it now. Happy Star Wars Day.
Yeah, May the 4th be with you.
And also with you. The tiniest of updates before we jump into content. The first is thank you to all the new subscribers that have been coming on. We're like approaching 1,200 subscribers. I mean, we're getting really close there now. We get a bunch more every day. We love seeing you with us here. For the many of you who have come on in just the recent weeks, this is my son, Zach.
Hi.
I know you haven't seen him in many of the episodes lately. He's in a lot of the back content, but he's here now. We're recording a few things today, actually. His not being there is partly because he's very busy with lots of things. And also, I've been too busy to schedule real well of late. So,
I mean, I think we figured that out from you just got back from a work trip. You've got this weekend. You immediately are going on another work trip.
So the past couple weeks, I hadn't even asked him. So today I had a spot. I said, hey, can you record? And he said, yeah. So it's really that easy sometimes. So don't blame him completely that you don't see him. Sometimes it's on me. But we hope you'll enjoy seeing us here today. And if that's true, don't forget to let us know by hitting the like button down there somewhere. And if you haven't subscribed yet, great time to do it. Remember, when you hit the subscribe button, it does wonderful things for us and doesn't hurt you at all. So go ahead, hit the button.
Now, if it appeals to you that maybe it hurts, like, I don't know if we can work something out, but you can probably rig something in programming. I know a guy.
Right. Doctor, every time I hit the subscribe button, it hurts my finger. Oh, I see what's wrong. Your finger's broken. So, are you drinking anything today?
Yeah, I'm drinking tea due to a slightly funny story where my coffee maker is just making. That's a weird way to say it.
Just making.
So we have an espresso. It's something that we've been enjoying since we got it 6 months ago, more. And it's a great way to just make a cup of coffee so that I don't have to have a whole pot.
Okay.
But the other day, I made my cup of coffee. I was drinking my cup of coffee, and then it just starts shooting water out through the faucet like it's actually doing, and it just drained the entire tank. And so I unplugged it. I plug it back in, and it's just making the noise like the pump is going. Don't know what's wrong with it yet, but I haven't had the chance to fix it yet.
Okay. It might be broken.
It might be. Hopefully not. I think it's probable it's just doing like some desalinization something or other or whatever it is.
Is AI taking over your house, though, that it just randomly decides to do this on its own?
I mean, on the one hand, maybe not. On the other hand, auto-cleaning ovens have been a thing for a long time where they just do it.
Automatically, on their own.
I usually don't want it to, And you usually have to like turn it on to do that, but I'm pretty sure
Yeah.
that's a thing.
You turn it on to do the yeah. Okay, anyways.
You turn on that it has that setting on. So like, I don't know.
Well, I'm drinking something too. It doesn't have such a delightful story. I am drinking it in our beautiful Fantasy for the Ages mug.
That we
If
can
you'd
actually
like
see
one,
without a
people,
green screen.
this is like one of the few merch items we have, but in the show notes, you can find out how to get your own. It's quite good. You'll see on the shelf behind me, I have another one because that's the one that broke. And I glued the handle back on so it looks pretty, but I wouldn't trust it with a cup of coffee anymore. But it broke after many, many, many uses. It broke in the dishwasher. It was a mistake. Oops. Anyways, I'm drinking coffee. It's early in the morning. It's got beautiful creamer in it, just like I like it. This one also has Bailey's because we're recording. And that's delicious. So
Yeah.
that's what I'm drinking here.
You're right.
Okay, what we are doing here today is a major shift and change in the content we put out.
A little bit.
We started out being a chapter by chapter Wheel of Time content creating channel, and that was fun for a while. But by the 13th episode, we realized we needed to do more than just that because there's so much else to enjoy about fantasy and science fiction. So we started dropping other types of content. And now we have tons of other types of content, and the Wheel of Time stuff is actually secondary. It's not the predominant. There's a lot out here, you guys know it, but it's not the predominant thing that people find us for anymore. And when we do these episodes, typically they don't get nearly as many views as the rest of our content. And we've been doing it for years. It's starting to feel a little bit more like work and less like fun to do the old format when we're not getting the payoff. Yes, getting views is encouraging. Not getting views is discouraging. So, listening to our viewers, we've decided to speed up getting through these books so that then we can move on to talking about Wheel of Time stuff, but just random stuff that we feel like talking about, not being tied to chapter by chapter. So, what you're getting today is the rest of Lord of Chaos.
Now, notably, it's important to note we're speeding up. We're getting the rest of Lord of Chaos. We're not DNFing.
Oh no,
We are completionists by
we
nature,
start twitching, man. That we can't
as
do
well
that.
as people who do love the Wheel of Time. So you're still gonna get the Wheel of Time from us, both completing out kind of what we've been doing, albeit in a much accelerated,
condensed, accelerated manner.
fashion.
Yes.
Yeah. But then we'll also still have other Wheel of Time content because we can't stop talking about this.
We love the Wheel of Time. What you're going to find is this is still spoiler-lite. We're going to talk about Lord of Chaos, the whole book today, but we're not going to ruin what's to come. So we'll still mention hints and stuff of the future books. If you've not gone past Lord of Chaos, you're still okay here. If you haven't finished Lord of Chaos, finish it first, come back and watch this episode. All right, so we have already done chapter by chapter, the prologue through chapter 14. So we're picking up at chapter 15 and going to go very quickly through each chapter of this book. And
We've
this
only
should be
got like
fun.
30, 40 more chapters. It'll be fine.
Yeah, I mean, it'll only take us about 5 hours. Okay, so chapter 15, called A Pile of Sand. We start out with Egwene. She's with the Aiel still. She's been training, right? And she's reflecting on her dreams, the things that she's seen. We most recently had seen her have a little fun with the dream, if you remember.
But she got a little lost in Godwin's.
Yeah. And he got a little lot. No, I'm not going to say that joke. That's bad.
Okay. I mean, as Robert Jordan would put it, he got lost in her eyes.
Oh, her eyes. Yes. Her big eyes. Anyway, so, this was an interesting experience she had. So now she's talking to the wise ones, trying to get a little information on how this stuff works. And she does learn. She gets confirmation that you can get pulled into the dreams of others. What does it take for that to happen? Do you remember?
No.
You're not going to just randomly get pulled into someone's dream, but if there are strong emotions involved, that's when you get sucked in.
Does it matter if it's the dreamer or the dream walker?
I believe either one. But if they both have strong emotions, oh
Then you're
man,
screwed. You're getting sucked in.
yeah, you're getting
Period.
sucked in. So you have to be on your guard about that. And as she's listening, she's like, "Oh, yeah, that explains some things." Because when she got sucked into Gawain's dream, at first she's like, "No, no, don't let this happen." And then she's like, "Oh, no, no, don't stop." She definitely enjoyed that dream. Jumping back over to Saladar, remember we have this situation with Tarnafir, who was the
Messenger / emissary from the tower,
right,
the official tower, as opposed to the tower in exile.
and
Elida's messenger.
she has left now. She's done with Saladar. She's heading back to Tarvalon, and Elaine and Nynaeve still don't entirely know what was decided, what was agreed on. They're hoping to get that information, but they have to kind of do it circumspect, and nobody's just going to tell them.
No.
But there is something else that's very important that they need to talk about, and that is to talk about the bowl.
Yes, because they went in dreams and went, need, what do we need? And they got shown a bowl.
Yeah, and I maybe that was like a little out of order spoil, but
I don't think they know what it actually is yet.
Right, we're referencing the whole book, though. No, they're still not going to know the name of it. Yeah, sorry about that. Maybe I'll edit it out. But this bowl.
I just like the idea of the bowl. Beep! It's the beep bowl.
But there's this bowl that Need showed them, and they know, they believe it's in a hiding place in Abu Dar. So they want to go there. We have to get it.
So of course they'll just be able to like leave and go do that, right? No.
That's what they'd like to see happen.
Good luck with that.
Yeah, the Aes Sedai in charge. No, they're not really into that. Elaine even throws in to the story of what she's seen, her vision, this importance of this bowl, that it would need a man to use it. Okay, this is a need we have, but it'll take a man and a woman together. Why does she imply that? She's hoping to tie the bowl to what man that they know can channel?
I mean, there's only one that Elaine really cares about who can channel / knows about, really. Because, I mean, there's one in camp, but he can't channel.
Yeah.
He got gentled. But this other guy, this Randall Thor guy, he's kind of cute.
Yeah. She definitely has an investment in wanting to see them tied to him. So she just throws that in there. But it is total BS. That is not what she saw in a dream. Anyways, she tosses it in, hopes it's going to work. They still don't hear. They still don't care. They're rather dismissive of these two women. How does Nynaeve do with being dismissive? She throws a temper tantrum. I mean, that's how she is. She gets flippant and stuff, and they end up scrubbing pots. Elaine's like, thanks, Nynaeve. Okay, chapter 16, Tellings of the Wheel. We jump over to Rand. And we see Rand, he's in Andor. He's meeting with and trying to engage with the nobles. He's got a bunch of nobles in Andor that, are sycophants, trying to suck up to him big time. But that's not who he's spending time with here in this chapter. He's trying to connect with nobles who had formerly been loyal to Morghese. He's trying to help them believe that he's not here to take over, that he supports Elaine. And he's reserved this throne, for her. They're not buying it.
Well, partially because they exist in a culture which does believe in political manipulation and scheming and these things, and maybe not as much as Kyrian, but definitely there's this idea of like double speak and funkiness going on. And they're like, yeah, you totally intend it for her. And once we support you in this, then, well, an accident befell her. And so in her stead, in her honor, you're going to rule it now.
Yeah. They're not at all used to people having power and freely letting it go. That's not how things work. Or being honest. Nice. Now, one of the more respected of these nobles is the Lady Dylan. She's kind of higher in status than the rest of them, too. Rand privately asks her a question because over the midst of this time engaging with them all, he notices quite a few of them keep looking at him a little oddly, staring at him out of the side when they don't think he's noticing. And he's like, why do people keep looking at me that way? And she's the one that reveals to him that he closely resembles Tigraine, the former daughter heir of Andor.
It's not that you look like an Aiel. People are over that at this point.
Right?
It's that you look like Andoran nobility.
It's totally in the face. They see her. Wow. This is when Rand comes to this recognition that Tigraine was his mother. Okay, a connection gets made. And if Tigraine was his mother, that she's the one who ran off and spent time with the Aiel, and so she and his father, I mean, that's how he came to be. Okay, that also means Galad is his half-brother.
Correct.
Like, whoa, wait a second.
But it's okay. There is no blood relation between Rand and Elaine.
That remains very important, indeed. On the tail end of this time with these Andoran lords, Lord Bashir comes in and informs Rand that there's someone else here to meet him. An emissary from Lord Brend. Remind us of who Lord Brend is?
I don't remember who this is.
Oh my.
Wait, hold on.
I could help you just
say the name again for a second.
Lord Brend of the Council of Nine.
Yeah, my brain says this is Ilian, this is Samael, correct?
Ding, 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 ding.
Cool.
Which, of course, Rand knows.
Sorry, throwing a name out that is not the person's name, my brain was not there. My beat.
The others of Andor don't know that Lord Brend is a Forsaken, nor would they likely believe it. But Rand allows the emissary to come forward, and we get to meet this guy who is clearly heavily under compulsion. Because he speaks and it's not his mouth. It's literally Samael whose voice comes out of this guy. And he's there to propose a truce. He's like, hey, you don't bug me, I won't bug you. Let's do that for a while until all the other Forsaken are taken out. And then we can work out our differences.
You know, it's funny that you and your bees are promising not to bug me.
Stay out of my beeswax. Anyways, Rand, of course, is not making deals with Forsaken.
No.
And dismisses it. And then we get to see the emissary die. Literally, like, self-destruct right in front of them. It's disgusting. It's like, ugh.
This messenger was self-destructed. 5, 4, 3.
They kind of deduce that this was probably how he was programmed, in that by what happened to him is how Samael will know how the offer was received. You know, if it's rejected, the guy will die. If the guy doesn't die, we have a deal. That's their supposition. Anyways, that's chapter 16. Chapter 17 is called The Wheel of a Life. This is a hard chapter, man.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, Rand travels to Cairhien. Remember, he's going back and forth between these two cities.
Yeah.
He goes there to visit Berelain and Ruark. Remind us who Berelain is.
Berelain is the first of Mayenne, ruler of a small city-state nation, but has been supporting Rand since, like, the end of Book 3, start of Book 4.
And she's definitely been entrusted with him to help manage things in Cairhien when he's not there.
Mm-hmm.
One of the things that he discovers as he's visiting with them and seeing how things are going in Cairhien is that there are women practicing fighting.
Yeah,
they're dressed more like men's clothing, and they're not only practicing traditional weapons, they're also learning how to fight like Aiel. They're trying to emulate the Aiel way of fighting too. And Ruark's like, they should stop this. This is not right. What's wrong with Ruark? Why is he trying to shut the women down?
I mean, in non-Wheel of Time terms, this is cultural appropriation.
Yes.
It's people who don't understand the culture, where this comes from, why they are this way, but adapting their customs and ways and being like, ooh, this is fashionable, this is cool, I'm gonna learn to do this, but they don't have it tied to Ito. They don't have this honor.
But they are. System. That's one of the things that really
do, but they're misunderstanding. They're misrepresenting it.
Yes, they are totally. We're doing Ito, but no, you aren't. You don't get it, is what he's seeing. Yeah, it's considered very offensive. But Rand's like, hey, people are free to be who they're going to be. Come on.
And hey, at the very least, they're not meeting you with abject hatred.
True. We learn that all is not going well here in Cairhien in another number of other ways. Two of the highest ranking nobles of the area, Caroline Damodred and Torum Riotin, have kind of pulled away. They're
Hmm.
not just staying in line. They are making moves to position themselves for power and want to basically claim the throne of Kyrian.
Now, where have we heard one of those names before?
Riotin? No, that's not the one you're referring to. Damodred. Please tell us which famous woman that we've learned about before had that last name.
Moraine also was a Demodred, so
Yes, so of
somehow
that
related
family.
here.
So not only have these two kind of pulled away and are starting to do their own plotting and stuff, they have Andorran soldiers with them. So there's machinations going on, and Rand's kind of like one more thing to deal with. So he's going to have to get on that. Not right now, but soon. He realizes he's going to have to deal with this probably himself. Also we learn about the Shido. Shido scattered all over the place, and it's come to be known the Shido are not leaving. They have no intention of going back to the waste. They like the wetlands, and they're going to be a problem. That might come back to be something we have to deal with as we go through the series.
Yeah, but that's
Possibly.
a future Rand problem. That's a future book problem. We don't have to worry about
I'm sure
that.
we won't hear much more about them in this book.
No, of course not.
But then we get to the part that's really hard. Rand had previously made a decree that the Aiel were not to hurt the Kyrianans. Remember, the tree killers. They don't like the Kyrianans. And he even said, if anyone kills a Kyrianan, I'll kill them. Basically, the old eye for an eye rule. Well, Mangan comes up here, wants to speak with Rand. Mangan has previously been identified as one of those Aiel that Rand's actually quite friendly with.
Yeah.
Like, they hit it off, they can banter, they enjoy each other's company, and Mangan is here to confess to killing a Kyrianan. The Kyrianan had gotten a dragon tattoo, just like Rand's. This is wrong. And he killed him for it. And now he's here. I'm here to die. Now, Mangan's not quite so cavalier about it, but he's also not so, I have to die. No, he's just reporting for death
He
duty.
understands and accepts that this is what was decreed. This is what will be done.
And Rand is devastated because, he never pictured, basically, he made this decree and never pictured anyone would die because of it. He's making his order, and it's a solid rule, and they know how serious he is.
Turns out you have to actually be willing to follow up on it if you want it to actually be serious, which then leads to the turmoil of this chapter.
Yeah. So Mangan dies. It's not a cool thing. And that's a shift, again, then for Rand, realizing his words have huge ramifications. Chapter 18 is called A Taste of Solitude. Here, a couple different things happen. One, Rand goes to visit his school in Kyrian. He'd established a school for learning.
We love that.
Yeah, absolutely. It's something to leave something beyond himself, make the world a better place. One of the key guys in the school is a historian, Herod Fell, also a bit of a philosopher. He's really studied in lore, in past knowledge, and is striving to learn more.
Help me out a lot with this. Is Fell also the guy who helped building like the telescope stuff for them for the battle coming in?
I think that was a different guy.
Okay. My brain was like, I don't think this is the first time we've met him, but I'm not positive.
I think it's the first time we've met him.
Okay.
But I'd have to go back and double check. But there are other guys in this school. The telescope guy, I'm pretty sure that was someone else. But hey, viewers, if we're trying to keep all this in our brain, if we're wrong, let us know.
Please do yell at me.
But Rand has a question for Herod. And he wants to ask about water bonds. Can they be broken? Now, why would Rand want to know if a water bond can be broken?
Because Alana forced it on him like 4 chapters ago.
She's so sucked in doing that. Fell has no good news on that one. He's like, I don't think so. I don't think you can, if you were a warder and just decided you didn't want to be a warder anymore, no, I don't think that can be broken. So, yeah, Rand's not happy about that, but...
I mean, you could die. That would probably do it.
They also talk a little bit about what's to come in the last battle, and Herod again, not just a historian, also a bit of a philosopher, he postulates some things that give us a little deeper understanding of the Wheel of Time, of how things work. And he basically says the last battle really can't be the last battle because life is a circle. Everything comes around again.
If it ever is the last battle, we lost.
Yeah, everything ends. So the last battle will perhaps be the last battle of this age. And then we'll bring in a new age. But there will be more to come. Likewise, things like conquering the Dark One. Okay, we could probably conquer the Dark One, but can we kill the Dark One? No, the Dark One is part of creation, really. It's part of what we have.
Or is he?
But he does postulate here the Dark One does have to be put back into his prison. The boar that was made in the last age, which caused this age, has to be sealed again, which should cause the next stage. So these are things Herod Fell thinks about, and they've got Rand percolating in there. And Rand has other things percolating because he hears Lews Therin in his mind. Break the seals! Break the seals!
What did the seals ever do to you? They're just good little, water puppies.
Wrong seals! Rand returns to his chambers then to find Egwene waiting for him. She's wanting to ask him to convince the wise ones that she has recovered enough from the land fear attack so that she can go back to doing her dream walking studies, which is very important to Egwene. Now,
And
she's still been
hasn't
doing
stopped
dream walking
her, but
stuff.
she wants to be able to stop hiding it and talk to them about it.
Yes. Rand, maybe he'll help with that, but he has a question for her. He wants to know where Elaine is. And, you tell me where Elaine is, I'll help you. Scratch my back, I'll scratch yours. She won't tell. So they want things from each other. They are not cooperating together. Typical Rand and Egwene. Chapter 19, Matters of Toe.
Like
What?
your big toe, or...
You got to hear me say it. Toe. Not toe. Toe.
Okay.
Did you hear the H?
No, it's silent.
Rand has a dream here. He's dreaming of the Age of Legends. And basically when it's all falling apart. He even has a dream of Ilyena. Who was she?
Oh, his previous self's wife.
Lews Therin's wife, right? As she's about to die at Lews Therin's hands. It's not a comfortable dream, and he's basically dreaming through Lews Therin's experiences.
We've all been there. We've all had that dream.
Oh, sure, yeah. Absolutely. He wakes from the dream. Ooh, that was a very Aiel thing to say. Shakes it off. Time to move again. He travels back to Camelin. Avienda, he gets together with her there. She tells him of prophetic dreams that the wise ones have had of him. Rand on a boat with 3 women. A man he did not see with a knife at his throat. These are all separate pieces. Rand cutting the wetlands in 2 with a sword.
Interesting.
And rain from a bowl. Now, we know what all these things mean, but when you first read these things, what? Huh?
When you first read these things, one of them maybe makes possible sense.
The first
one. Well, I was going to go with the last, only because we literally got shown a bowl recently.
I think at this point, it's possible to discern what Rand on a boat with 3 women might mean.
Maybe.
There's been enough things going on. Yeah. These other 2, they're a little curious, but they will become clear, we assure you. Chapter 20, From the Steading. Still in Camelin, Rand has a visit. Emissaries of a sort. He has 3 Ogier show up, wanting to talk to him.
Now make sure to give them the time of day, Rand. Don't be hasty about
it. Nice. Aerith we've heard of before. Who's Aerith?
Isn't Aerith Loyal's promised?
Yes, the one who thinks he has beautiful eyebrows. Yeah. And Covril is Loyal's mom.
Correct.
Okay. And Hama is, an elder. One of the the important people of the Ogier. And they're here specifically coming to Rand because Loyal was with Rand. And Rand was to take care of Loyal. And to see that Loyal return safely, where's Loyal? That's what they basically want to know.
Where's my darling boy?
What have you done with him? What have you failed to do? Because he's off somewhere in danger or whatnot, and you're just here sitting in Camelin. They're not happy with Rand.
He might as well be off gallivanting with wolves.
Nice. We can go a little farther and say dancing with wolves, but now we're drawing in other things. Rand, he's like, yeah, sorry, he's not with me. I've had things to do, but I know where he is. And he tells him about the Two Rivers and that Loyal is there. And so you could go find him in the Two Rivers, which they will therefore go ahead and try to do. I say try because it's going to get complicated.
A little bit.
It's really a comedy of errors as we watch Aerith and team trying to catch up with Loyal, but more of that later.
It's also humorous to note that Rand goes, yeah, you could probably find him in the Two Rivers. Not, yeah, walk through this gateway to the Two Rivers and see if you can find him. He's giving Loyal an out.
But it gets even better because he demonstrates his full capability to do just that when he asks the Elder Haman, to accompany him to Shadar Logoth to show him the waygate there. See, one of the things that he had asked is he needs to understand these waygates because he believes the dark forces are using them. And so he asks the Ogier, will you create a map of where all the waygates are so I can kind of get a handle on how to protect the world from these things? And then specifically, the one in Shadar Logoth. Can you just take me to that one? So he opens up a gateway and they walk through into Shadar Logoth. And yeah, here's the waygate. And Rand, this is chapter 21, by the way, which is to Shadar Logoth. Rand creates wards and nasty, weaves all around this thing. So nothing is coming out of this without going. Bzz.
It's a bug zapper trap.
Yeah, exactly. I was going to say, you remember when I had that tennis racket?
Yeah.
It could zap that. He's got the tennis racket thing right over it.
I remember when a bug would get stuck in it and then it would increase in smell.
Right. Now, these wards are specifically against shadow spawn. It's not necessarily that someone who was a good guy coming through would have a trouble, but he's trying to stop the shadow spawn from using these gates anymore.
Now, that being said, it probably won't keep out dark friends either. But again, not as big of an issue as an entire army of Trollocs or Murdril.
Yeah. Now, I made it sound like they just randomly decide to jump to Shadar Logoth, but there was a little more to it. Rand doesn't go anywhere just on his own these days. When he's jumped to Camelin, when he's come back from Kyrian, any of these moves, he's got Aiel with him, protecting him. So he has a cadre of Aiel that come with him here to Shadar Logoth. And he's very strict with them in this space. Stay together. Don't scatter. This is important. This is dangerous. Sure enough, one of them goes missing.
Yep.
As they're about ready to leave, they realize one of the Maidens of the Spear, Leah, is gone. Nobody knows where she is. They're calling, Leah, Leah. She's not responding. Nobody knows what's happened. And they end up having to leave her. Rand, this is one more death he's seeing that he has to add on his own head. He brought them here. He feels responsible. Now, if he said that out loud, they'd slap him silly.
Yeah.
But still, it doesn't stop him from feeling like he's responsible. Wait. Darkness closing in. You don't stay in Shadar Logoth when dark falls. Is a little thing called Mastodon.
Yeah, you probably shouldn't really stay there when it's light out.
Right.
Let alone after dark.
So, time to go. He does a solid for the Ogier now, actually. He does create a gateway to the Two Rivers. And he lets him in. He doesn't, take them right to Loyal, but he said, they're in the Two Rivers. Here you go. They're not in the Two Rivers anymore.
No.
We'll get to that later. But there you go. Good luck finding Loyal. And then he opens a different gateway to take the rest of them back to Camelin again. So Rand and his Aiel. Chapter 22, jumping to a new point of view. This is heading south with Matt Coffin.
It's Matt.
We get some Matt.
What's up, Matt?
Remember, we left Matt near Tyr. He's overseeing the army that Rand has put together out there that's supposedly going to be attacking Ilion.
There's some fun plot and things going on, and Rand has machinations, and Matt is aware of some of them.
Now, at this point, Matt is with his band of the Red Hand, and they come upon a massacred tinker caravan.
That's not fun.
Not good. Who would kill tinkers? It's very cruel.
Honestly, we've seen a number of people in this series already willing to kill tinkers. Like, it's not that big a surprise.
Well, whoever killed this caravan of tinkers, they have different devious thoughts going on, because there is a message scrawled in blood. Tell the dragon reborn.
Tell him what?
Exactly.
That we're killing Tuathon? Like,
there's really no resolution here. Tell him what? Yeah, you found a dead group of tinkers. Okay. It's a little mysterious, but someone's messed up here, and killing tinkers to send a message to Rand. It is a little troublesome to find all these peace-loving tinkers, though, to just be slaughtered like this. Matt doesn't sleep real well that night.
No.
It turns out to be a good thing he can't sleep well, because some Aiel try to kill him that night.
Oh, goody.
Yeah. Some Aiel sneak into their camp, and because Matt's awake, he recognizes it's coming. He notes the shadows and stuff, and he raises the camp. You know, we're being attacked! Rise, rise! And there's a battle and stuff, and they're able to kill the attackers. Not without taking casualties themselves, but they're not just all slaughtered in their sleep. You might say Matt had been lucky.
You don't say.
Yeah. But with it all done, they investigate. How did they come here? How did they get here? They find signs that gateways were used. What does that tell us?
It tells us most likely that these Aiel were delivered by a Forsaken. Not 100%, but realistically, at this point, we know of 3 different people / groups who could do gateways. Rand, Avienda, maybe, sometimes,
Maybe.
and Forsaken.
Yeah. So somebody intentionally using the powers sent the Aiel here for a strike attack.
I'm sorry, I left out one group, because Mazrim Taim also can do it now, having
Rand taught him. That's correct. So that's another point. There's no way to be sure who sent them. We can be pretty sure Rand didn't send them, and Avienda, unless she's sleep channeling, didn't send them. But Forsaken, or if Taim has gone to the dark side, it's a bit of a mystery. It's probably the Forsaken.
Probably.
It's at this point also, though, that as the chapter's ending, Matt discovers Olver still with them. When they had come on down to get to the group that Matt's supposed to lead, he left Olver in that town.
Yeah, it was Olver the orphan who came with them and then got left behind, being like, you can have a better life here.
Right, he set him up, paid for his care.
You know, Olver said, nah, I like this group of...
Olver stowed away. Yeah.
I like this group of crass soldiers who swear and like Matt and his luckiness.
Well, and there was some complicity here. The band likes Olver. Matt likes Olver, even though he's the ugliest boy he's ever seen. He likes him, but he liked him enough to try to protect him and keep him safe. And well, now we're stuck with you. You came. So Matt puts him to work, makes him his messenger boy. So now he works for Matt.
Yeah, he's the mascot.
Chapter 23, to understand a message. And we get a meeting right at the beginning between 2 Forsaken. Grendel visiting Samael. We'd already seen earlier that Grendel and Samael were the ones that if Samael's going to talk to anybody,
They chat.
one-on-one, it's going to be Grendel. Okay, they kind of a little more simpatico than some of the others. And what they're talking about here as they meet is a stasis box. This is our introduction to a stasis box. What do we learn about a stasis box? What is a stasis box, Zach?
It's kind of like the idea of like a cryo chamber thing, but really it's like it's a time capsule.
Yeah.
It's things got shoved away, locked in a box, and basically time was frozen on it.
Yes. So take a time capsule and blend it with cryostasis, like you said. Yes.
It doesn't have to be living organic matter kind of thing necessarily, but it is just like we're just gonna put this in a little frozen bubble of time here,
yes,
and release it later.
Perfect preservation, whatever's stored in the stasis box. Now, Grendel sees the stasis box, which means Samael wanted her to see the stasis box. She doesn't know what was in the stasis box, what he did with it, but it makes her think, what is Samael up to? He does let her know that he's about to get his hands on a bunch of Angriel. This is something the Forsaken had been looking for. Items to help them channel even more power than they already ridiculously can.
Amp themselves up a bit.
And he actually offers to let her have some after he gets his first pick, that she can look over it. We're allies, so tantalizing him.
Some of them are probably useless to me. Like, they probably would require your channeling.
But he won't tell her where these are coming from, and she knows better than to ask. They keep their secrets. He claims that his negotiation with Randall Thor, which we already saw the signs of, was favorable. That they've declared a truce until the other Forsaken are dead.
Yeah, that's not true.
No, he's lying. But Grendel does not detect that lie. She actually believes him, and she's a little unsettled. It's like, whoa, wait a second. Now, the unsettled part is we're in her POV, so we see her brain spinning. And I mean, take that to its conclusion. You have a truce with the Dragon Reborn until all the other Forsaken are dead.
You're going to work with the Dragon Reborn to kill all the other Forsaken, including myself.
I'm a Forsaken, yeah.
And then duke it out. At which point you have to immediately go, is this currently, right here and now, a trap?
Setting that stage, getting things a little tense, you can imply then Grendel might want to suck up to Samael a little bit, get on his good side. If he's got the Dragon Reborn in a truce with him. And Samael, that's exactly what he wanted to accomplish. So he pushes for information from her. I said earlier, they keep their secrets, but he wants some details. And he specifically wants to know where the other Forsaken are. And we get 3 pieces of information. 4. 1, we get confirmation here, at least Grendel's belief, that Messiana is in the White Tower.
Cool.
2, that Asmodean is likely dead.
Unfortunate.
She doesn't use the word likely. She just, Asmodean's dead. Also, Lanfear is dead.
Interesting.
The likely comes along with what she says about Moghedien. Moghedien is likely dead too.
Incorrect.
Yeah, we know Moghedien's not dead. Why might she think Moghedien is dead?
I mean, on the one hand, kind of went AWOL. Not entirely sure what's up with that.
No Moggy sightings in a long time.
We know that Rand has been crossing Forsaken off the board. Some things have gone down. It's probable.
After that, Grendel leaves, and Samael, he's just gloating. Ha ha ha, I pulled one over on her. I mean, confirming the fact that he was manipulating her. He does not think that Rand is in a truce with him. He knows that didn't work out. But he pulled off pumping her for information. And Samael, he's got those visions. He's going to be nameless.
I think we can substitute the word visions for delusions.
Let's do that. Chapter 24, an emissary. No, it is not called that. Try an embassy. Two very similar words, but that wasn't it.
Very different meanings.
Yes, yes. We're back to Kyrian, Egwene's point of view. We're seeing her, she is exercising to rebuild her strength after Lanfear's attack. She is still feeling the effects of that. It was very hard. I mean,
she still has to undergo PT.
And so she is walking to where she's going to be doing some exercises. The wise ones have agreed to resume their training with her in the dream walking. As she's walking to where she's going to meet up and do some training, she sees the Aes Sedai embassy from Elida riding towards the royal palace. So we knew Elida had sent an embassy.
Mm-hmm.
Here they are. They've arrived. Egwene sees it. Egwene rushes to the wise ones, make sure they're aware. Also suggests that they not be told that Egwene is in the Aiel camp. That's a conversation she actually has with Berelain, because Berelain is the one that's going to receive them.
Mm-hmm.
She doesn't explain everything why, but, lets it be inferred. I'm an Aes Sedai on Rand's side. These are embassies from the White Tower. Probably better they don't know I'm here, but what's really going on in Egwene's head?
Well, I mean, all of that is true and valid.
Yes.
She's also still posing as a full sister, which she is not.
And they would know that. Yeah. Okay, chapter 25, Like Lightning and Rain. Now, a little time passes. Egwene is out, still her POV. She's out walking past the manor house where that embassy has been given. Because Rand's not there. They want to meet with Rand. He's not there right now. So you can stay here, this place. And as she's walking by, she senses channeling. Remember, women who can channel can feel when others are channeling. But she senses...
feel when other women are channeling.
Yes.
So we know it's a woman.
But she senses just a constant channeling. Like,
interesting.
What are they doing in there? Why would anyone be continually channeling? It's a puzzle. It's a mystery. She doesn't know. She tries to eavesdrop. She can't hear anything. So clearly it's also like warded. So they're doing something in there and they don't want people to know. She has a inopportune meeting at this point. As she moves on from there, she runs into Gawain.
What a lovely chance encounter.
Yeah. Why is Gawain there?
Because he's more or less guarding and guiding this group of Aes Sedai. He and his younglings, some of them have kind of been this escort force.
Yes. And a begrudged escort force. I mean, he's not, yay, Aes Sedai completely. But yes, he was attached to them and fine, I will go with them.
Part of him getting sent along with this was because he's a charismatic and growing to be a powerful figure in Tar Valon. So it was kind of we want him on our side, but we also want him not here a little bit.
One other factor in there was it was intentional, thinking Gawain coming with the delegation as this important noble of Andor, part of the royal house, might sweeten the pot. We're sending you also royalty to come as to honor you. Egwene takes a private moment to talk with Gawain. She tells him she loves him. Oh,
which is wild considering they haven't seen each other in a while, and the last time they had, they.
Oh, come on! This is a fully fleshed out relationship.
Robert
Jordan does relationships beautifully.
Don't get me wrong. If there was texting in this world, then they've been texting this entire time. Sure, that's fine. Their relationship has grown. Instead, it's no. Egwene realized she might actually have feelings for him a couple of nights ago, basically, when she had shared a dream with him. Meanwhile, he's been pining about her for a year and a half.
But keep in mind, when she was with that dream, I mean, that was his dream. So she knows exactly how he feels.
So it's really unfair to him that she's just going, I know that you're going to love and accept me, and that's really powerful and awesome to me. I love you. Now, it feels disingenuous. I'm misrepresenting this a little bit, but it's...
No, you're right. This is not just disingenuous. This is manipulative. Because she doesn't want the Aes Sedai to know she's here. Gawain just saw her, so how do I stop Gawain from spilling the beans? I pull him aside. I tell him I love him. I tell him of my hope to one day make him my warder, and please keep my secret. Okay, what's he gonna do? What's he gonna do? Now, of course he's gonna keep her secret.
Now,
She loves him.
if he was Galad,
Oh no,
it's a much bigger question.
Gawain does agree to keep the secret from the embassy. He also agrees not to hurt Rand until Egwene can prove Rand is not responsible for Morgase's death. Because remember, Gawain, he's not happy with Rand. He believes Rand killed his mother. And she's like, no, he didn't do that. I will prove that to you. So don't hurt him. Give me time to get you the proof. He's like, all right, for you. So she is really leaning into, we're a thing now. You're going to be my warder. Come on. Please help me out. All right. Jump over a little bit. We're still in this chapter. Jump over to the embassy where we've got Katarina or Katerin Alrudin. I think it's Katerin.
I don't know.
Others of the Tower Embassy. They're here. And again, they've announced that their purpose is to escort the Dragon Reborn to Tar Valon. This is an honor guard. They want to bring him there in all pomp and circumstance.
Cool. What if he doesn't want to come?
They'll have to deal with that. But what they're more talking about briefly here is, when they leave with Rand, it's going to leave a power vacuum here in Cairhien. Okay, who's in charge now if Rand won't be there? Maybe that's something they can use to manipulate circumstances here. They're also talking about rumors, these women amongst themselves now, rumors that there is a green sister here with Rand.
Egwene.
Yeah, they don't know who. Galena believes it's probably Moiraine. Even though she's blue, she's probably just in disguise.
No.
And see, Moiraine, we heard about she died. Sure. She went into hiding.
Through a doorway for sure. Hasn't been seen since.
There are other Aes Sedai arriving secretly in Cairhien, we learn. So you had the official embassy, but there are more that have been slipping in. Why? They're part of the fail-safe. Something that will become necessary if the negotiations with Rand fall through. What is the fail-safe? We are not told. Smart readers should be thinking, okay, they're increasing the number of Aes Sedai here.
Yeah, let's just say there's, 6 in this room, and there's 1, 2, 3, up to 7 more just trickling in. I don't know.
Yeah. At that point, they also then go and we see what's this power that's being used that Egwene had sensed from outside. It's just Aes Sedai women doing novice exercises, trying to use lots of power for no reason. So they're not doing anything. They're basically just using power. We don't get to know why, but that's what's going on. Chapter 26, Connecting Lines. We're back to Rand al'Thor, and he's still in the region of Andor. He's watching his army. It's not actually his army. Who's in charge of the army that's mostly at Rand's disposal?
Fael's dad.
Yeah, Davram Bashir. And they're cavalrymen. So we've got formations of horses.
So many horses.
Yeah.
Such good horses.
It's pretty cool. So he's watching, he's observing, doing his job as the ruler. And while he's doing that, a man tries to kill Rand.
Oh, good.
Yeah. Just random assassination attempt. Rand stops the assassination, just, the power. That's what he does. The assassination attempt was by crossbow. And Rand is able to, stop that. He's always got Aiel with him. So the maidens go into action to protect him. And, one of them dies taking a crossbow bolt that was shot at Rand.
Oh, let's add that on his conscience, even though
exactly
it's really just him blaming himself for everything.
There was not just one assassin trying to kill him. This was a group that came at him. The maidens actually take some of them alive.
Nice.
And Rand orders most of them executed. He leaves one alive to take a message back to the one who sent them. because they can tell who sent them. They're all wearing white cloaks.
Yeah, because I'm sure that it's actually White Cloak assassins and not just like possibly people dressed up as White Cloak assassins.
Well,
There's a lapse of judgment here where Rand should have kept a couple more alive to pump them for information. But he's just like, no. This face value thing, it's true.
he returns to Camelin at this point, after that is all done, and finds a wave mistress of the sea folk wanting to talk with him.
This far inland,
Yeah. Also, one of the ladies of Andor wants to talk to him, Lady Alenia. Puts off the wave mistress. Nope. Don't want to talk to her. This is one of those things that's never quite make sense to me, why he is avoiding the sea folk. He shouldn't be, but
it just feels like he's maybe going, I haven't really done too much in that realm of things yet, and I'm trying my best to not put another group on my plate, not have another thing. And so he's just like, order it later, not that one.
Now, his meeting with Lady Alenia is actually something he had initiated, and he has a conversation with her because he wants to confirm something you were talking about in a previous chapter, and it is he's confirming that he and Elaine are not related.
Yeah. It's like, you looked deep into those, like, bloodline books, right? We did a 23andMe here. We're good.
Now, they might be related, but so far back that it doesn't matter. And that's the case of a lot of people. Even today, a lot of people are related, but so far removed, it doesn't count as being related anymore. And you can get married and don't have to worry about issues. Anyways, he's got that. Because he still has his thoughts on Elaine. Chapter 27 is called Gifts. This is back to Egwene, back in Kyrian, that region.
Cool.
She'd hung out with Gawain for a while. She'd learned information about what's going on with the White Tower. And she specifically has information they're looking for a rogue Aes Sedai now.
Interesting.
So she's going to have to be a little more circumspect now. Maybe stay around the Aiel camp itself instead of freely wandering. That's what she's thinking, but is that what she's going to do? No.
Probably not.
Probably not. Rand returns to Kyrian. When she becomes aware of that, she's going to go try to meet up with Rand. They do meet up, and Rand puts her in a corner of the room and makes her invisible as he prepares to meet with the embassy of the White Tower. Like, this is something they work out. Okay, he agrees her presence would be
I want to hear
him,
but I understand that you can't be here.
Right. So here, the embassy meets with Rand. They announce that he is to be formally recognized as the Dragon Reborn. That's a good thing.
Especially considering, like, 90% of the world agrees on that fact by now.
They also carry in some treasure, big chests full of treasure due the Dragon Reborn. They are honoring him.
Cool. Let's go ahead and use those towards, like, feeding people. I don't know.
They also invite him. That's the word. Invite him now to return with them to Tar Valon in all the honor that his stature deserves. And then in Tar Valon, he can be rightfully protected. And with the authority, the power, the influence of the White Tower behind him, he will be prepped and ready to face the Dark One at the last battle.
Yeah, Rand saw that cage you put Logain in. No thanks.
Rand kind of like, he doesn't just brush him off.
He's like, learned a little better how to politic and talk around in Game of Houses. All this.
In essence, they get from him, I'll think about it. And they're dismissed. They return to their manor house. As they're leaving, one of the Aes Sedai comments to others, there was someone else in the room who could channel. Couldn't see her, but I sensed her. So they know somebody can help, somebody who can channel. There's an Aes Sedai helping Rand, which fuels their rumors that they've been looking for this rogue and that some of them believe it's probably Moraine. Yep, there it is. See?
There's someone.
Chapter 28 is called Letters. And we're in Rand's POV for this one.
Mm-hmm.
He comes to the recognition in this chapter that this voice in his head, this Luz Theron voice, is a real presence. He's not going mad. This is really another entity. This is Luz Theron.
Now, that's not to say that he isn't going mad, but like,
but this is what Rand
this
thinks
is real.
Yeah, and kind of that doesn't set well with him. He's not happy about that. Let's see other things that happen in this chapter. Avienda vents at Rand because he left her behind when he's been traveling and keeps ditching her. Stop that, basically. You need to let me be with you. You have towed me, she says. And no, not one of her toes. Okay.
Oh, okay.
So, is he going to listen to her? To be determined. But
he probably should. He won't.
She gives him a piece of her mind. A number of Andoran lords arrive from Camelin.
There we go.
These are ones who had been in opposition to Lord Gabriel, so potentially good nobles. And they're here now, but they haven't come to Rand. They haven't, showed up to offer their fealty or their appreciation for what he's done. They're just kind of doing their own thing. It's like,
and there's some question of, did they get comfortable with the idea of not being with Lord Gabriel and they want their own independence? Or is it still a loyalty to Morghese and they believe some of these rumors that he killed her? What's going on here?
A few other things happened here. He learns that Sea Folk Wave Mistress that he wasn't willing to see back in Camelin. She wasn't real happy about that.
Rightfully so.
Yeah.
Blew her off.
He's kind of, dismissing a Wave Mistress. It's not what you're supposed to do. A letter arrives from the Queen of Gildan, Aleander. She's asking for help, saying she's basically being overwhelmed by the Prophet, his dragon sworn, as well as having to deal with the White Cloaks all over the place, and appeals to the Lord Dragon. Please send help. Okay, so that's an interesting one for Rand. He's like, another country, another ruler actually coming to me, not me going and conquering. Here's an opportunity. I could bring another one into the fold simply by responding to a request for my help.
Which is good and valid, but also illustrates that Rand doesn't understand world politics well enough to know that that's not the seat of power over there. You would need to really address probably either the Prophet or the White Cloaks, because yes, the nobility is in charge, but they're still reeling from the uprising that Logain did a couple of years back, and there's a lot of instability in Gildan.
There is a lot of instability. That's true. As he's pondering what to do about this, another assassination attempt happens. This time a gray man, just out of nowhere, because that's how gray men show up. Nobody notices them until it's pretty much too late. But Rand discerns it just in time, wraps him up in air, and while he's got him held, Mazrim Taim shows up. Coincidence?
Maybe.
Taim, seeing what's happened, kills the Gray Man.
Oh, well, he wasn't going to talk anyway, so it's not that big a deal.
That's true. Still, Rand is not particularly happy that Taim chose to use the power in his presence, take initiative like that, when Rand clearly had things under control. It's just emphasizing the kind of tension, the uneasy alliance between these two. But Taim then explains why he's here. He found someone with the spark. They've been out searching for people. And he found one, Jahar Narishma. And he knew Rand would want to know. Right at the end of the chapter, then we jump to a Padden Fane point of view. We don't get many of these. In the entire series, we don't get many of these. So
what do we got?
And this is Padden Fane throwing a fit when he learns that a Grey Man tried to kill Rand.
Which is weird to be like, why are you upset about that? And it feels like a territorial jealousy thing. It's like no, that's mine. You
That's
don't get
exactly
to,
it.
You don't get to kill him. I
Don't
get to
kill
kill
my
him.
boy Rand. He's mine to kill. That's right.
I will kill so many people who are trying to kill him so that I can kill him.
Absolutely. Chapter 29, Fire and Spirit. It's one of our shorter chapters. It's Nynaeve and Elaine, and it's almost like it picked up where they left off last time. They were sent to scrub pots. Okay, now they're scrubbing pots. I think there's a gap in time here, but they're still scrubbing pots. Nynaeve speaks about her feeling, that weather sense she's had in the past, that there's a storm like right frickin' on top of them, and yet the weather's perfect. So she's not really sensing weather, people. She's sensing something. We get news here that there's a rumor Morghese is going to lead an army of white cloaks to Andor.
Which is a weird rumor, but also like has a little bit of real foundation.
Elaine dismisses the rumors. Her mother would never have anything to do with the white cloaks. Sometimes our children don't know us as well as they think they do.
Sometimes. What's that supposed to mean?
Wondering what you draw from that. The chapter finishes with Nynaeve deciding to continue her study of Logain. I'm going to go back and work on him a little bit and accidentally healing him. Like healing him from being gentled.
Oops. Well, at least we know we can do that now.
She's just exploring what she's finding. It's in her head as she's discerning, and all of a sudden she puts these two things right and click.
It's such a small moment for being like the biggest discovery of the series so far.
And to see Nynaeve's reaction when she realizes what she just did. It's not, I did it. It's, I just allowed him to channel again. You know, that's not good. I am going to get in so much trouble.
Oops.
Of course, Logain is quite happy about it. I believe she very quickly shields him. It's like, wait a second.
Yeah, that's fair.
This flows right on to chapter 30, though, to heal again. Nynaeve is holding that shield on Logain while Aes Sedai are berating him for lying about Logain. What? They don't believe her. And they can't test him. I mean, they can't feel a man channeling.
No.
Well, the only thing they have going for them is
Nynaeve said she did it. The only other way to prove this,
and she's got him shielded so he can't.
The only way to prove this would be for her to not shield him and have him channel, at which point he could either choose to not, so that they continue not to believe her and just gaslight them, or he could, and it would be really, really bad potentially.
Yeah. They end up taking Nynaeve away and getting her into a room with Swan and Lyanna. And it comes around that Nynaeve realizes it's not so much they necessarily didn't believe her. They're intentionally making her believe they don't believe her, so she'll be mad. Why?
So she can do it again.
And now, show us again what you can do. And she's supposed to heal Swan and Lyanna. And she does.
Mostly.
Yeah, this is an interesting thing. We discover that while she was able to heal Logain, no problem, healing Swan, healing Lyanna, it works, but they're not back to full strength. Like, they can channel again. They can feel the source. They are immediately in tears. It's their dream coming true, and yet they can only channel a percentage of what they used to. Not even a very big percentage.
He got nice new metal pump, like pipes and stuff installed for all those channels. They got some like duct taped up bits of styrofoam that will pass it through, but it's pretty leaky.
Yeah. So there are some ramifications now of everything that's happened here. One is, okay, so Logain can channel now. Do we take his channeling away again? What do we do with him now? Should he be gentled again?
Don't do that. That's just mean.
Well, they're really struggling. They think they should, but they're supposed to be supporting the Dragon Reborn, and
Who has
he
made
has
an
said,
amnesty for people who can channel.
so how would he take it if he comes to find they're still gentling men? Yeah, that they're in a pickle there, and they're not sure what to do about Logain. So they just keep him shielded for now. He's their captive. Swan, Liana, they're welcome back now. They're not lesser people. They're officially Aes Sedai again. However, Swan's like, yes, I can get back to doing what I'm doing. And no, not quite, because being lesser in the power, she doesn't instantly go back to, I'm top dog around here. No, because, well, what's that funny thing about how Aes Sedai look at each other?
Power matters.
Right.
It's not quite a might makes right, but there's a lot of that.
And it's kind of a tradition, whoever is the stronger, the others will defer to them. Swan is nowhere near the strongest Aes Sedai here. So yeah, she can be part of conversations again. She's part of the Aes Sedai, but she's still lower on the totem pole.
And they still don't like her.
That's kind of grates on her. She actually asked Nynaeve, can you try to fix me a little more? And Nynaeve does try, but it's no use. She's been healed. She can't heal what's already healed. There's nothing more Nynaeve can discern she can do. So that's unfortunate. Swan also, because she can channel now, this was an interesting thing. That connection to the power again means she also can now feel the loss of her warder bond. When her warder Ulrich was killed back before, she had already been stilled. So she didn't feel it. And now it just kind of all hits. There's still remnants of it, which kind of makes her a bit of a mess for a little bit. We also see that they get to decide which house they want to be in again, which Aja, basically.
They get to pick a new. They second time's the charm.
And Swan, of course, she's blue, dyed to the wool, but Liana decides not to go blue again. She goes green. Boom, chicka, chicka, boom, boom. You know what she's been practicing for a while. Her womanizing ways, her Domani wiles, and I think it's kind of grown on her. Or do you think there's a different reason she goes green?
There's valid reasons both ways. I mean, I think that's valid. Also, putting people that you trust and these different powers in different Ajas is a good call on some things, especially when Liana can see some of these new powerful people will probably end up going green. Nynaeve's likely to go green, maybe yellow. But then also, let's go the step further. We're approaching the last battle. Doesn't hurt to have another battle Aja member.
Exactly. Green is the battle Aja. That's right. We jump over to another Aes Sedai. We get to talk about Delana. Delana Moselane. She's an old friend of Swan's back in the day. She will help Swan gain access to Teleron Riyadh. Gonna set it up. Delana's one of those ones that are in the inner circle, really behind the scenes running Saladar. She agrees to help Swan meet the wise ones in Teleron Riyadh. After Swan leaves, then Delana is visited by another visitor, someone named Halima Saranov. Enter Halima Saranov.
Hi, Halima.
Yeah, she claims to know Delana. And when she comes on in, the woman makes a sign that she's Black Aja. Now, wait a second. Aes Sedai can discern when another Aes Sedai can channel. She can't discern anything in this woman.
Well, that's
and yet,
weird.
Halima makes it very clear she's here on orders. She is working for the Dark One. And she is going to pose as Delana's secretary. And this is not, will you let me be your secretary? No.
It's I'm going to pose as your secretary.
And using the sign she did, Delana, who it is clearly revealed here, is Black Aja. Delana has no choice. She has to accept this. She knows the orders.
I kind of like that there are like Black Aja gang signs.
Right? So these are reveals. Delana's Black Aja. Delana and Swan go way back. They were friends. Oh, but she's actually working for the Dark One.
So were they ever actually friends?
And now Halima is here, who's going to use Delana as her in to the little tower, the ruling body, to basically know what's really going on and perhaps influence. So the Dark One, the Black Aja, directly trying to influence what the Saladar sisters are going to do. This is big. That's a bit of a
Yay.
bombshell. We also catch that Halima has another name. And this was a bombshell. Arengar. Remind our viewers who Arengar is.
They're dead.
Apparently not.
They're a Forsaken that theoretically died way back at the Eye of the World.
Right? We saw Rand more or less kill Arengar, but we also saw at the beginning of this book Arengar resurrected by the Dark One. Well, now we know what Arengar has been positioned to do.
This.
And been put in the body of a woman and sent here. And I think that's a good spot for us to stop today.
That's our good part 1 of the rest of the Lord of Chaos.
So, friends, we tried to give you the rest of the Lord of Chaos today. We're going to be reshaping how we do this a little bit. So we got through half of it. We definitely can get through the other half in one more episode.
Oh, yeah.
So,
but we want to be able to
soon.
take some time to talk about a couple of those things.
Yeah, there's this chapter about Dumai's Wells. It's going to take a little extra time.
Maybe a little.
But that was fun to fly through them like that. We talked about a lot of cool things there. I think we're onto something here.
Very surface level, but like that way I don't accidentally spoil anything too big. You just accidentally name a Terra Grial, but that's fine.
So let us know what you thought. If you enjoyed that, that's what we're going to try to go with now. And I hope you'll continue to like these episodes. Drop your comments below about anything we talked about. And there's no spoiler room now because we're just going through these fast.
At least not currently.
Right. Anything else to say before we wrap this one, Zach?
Nah.
All right. Works for me. Thanks for watching, everyone. We'll talk to you next time.